Hello everybody and welcome to the Dover International Raceway for the second race of the opening round of the chase here at Dover. Dale Jarrett, Tony Stewart start on the front row as we get ready to get green and underway. We are green at Dover. Dale Jarrett takes the early advantage over Tony Stewart as he will take the lead into turn one. Of course, Dale Jarrett won in our last episode out at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway to clinch his spot into the round of 12 in the Winston Cup Series playoffs. He's there. Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, and Tony Stewart, the rest of the top four. The chase contenders all at the front right now. They also have Kurt Busch up here, Mark Martin, Ryan Newman. As we look throughout the pack here, Jimmy Johnson, though, still is third, but the race leader is Dale Jarrett, but Matt Kenseth is pressuring him for that lead. Here comes the 17 of Kenseth going after Dale Jarrett for the race lead here, coming through turn 1 and 2 on lap number 2. Jarrett, though, caution is out on the racetrack, and Kenny Schrader has been involved in a wreck for the second week in a row with Jimmy Spencer both. And Ricky Rudd as well. As Ricky Rudd gets turned, he's up there, and Dale Jr. comes right up the track hard into Kenny Schrader and Jimmy Spencer. They go crashing hard into the outside wall. And one other note, I forgot to say at the beginning of this race, Terry Labonte actually did not qualify for this race. He got knocked out. He did not make it for this race, and that is a chase contender. So he will earn 0 points and pretty much be in a must-win situation heading into Kansas in our next episode. But here we see Ricky Rudd crushing and Kenny Schrader, Jimmy Spencer, who were both wrecked out early last week too and only got 1 point last week. Or looks like they're going to get 1 point again, as they will both DNF from this race as the chase contenders continue to have problems in a big collision. Bobby Labonte, Brett Bodine, Rick Mast, a horrible crash here coming out of turn 4, airborne for the number 11 machine, as well as the 18 of Bobby Labonte, the 55 of Bobby Hamilton piles in right there at the end. A huge crash in a wild way to start out this playoff race at Dover, with already Jimmy Spencer and Kenny Schrader earning a combined 4 points, 2 points each in the first 2 races of the chase. As we move on to the last lap of stage 1 for the 17 of Matt Kenseth, who is taking the lead and ran away with it. He's just lapped Ricky Rudd as Kenseth looks to win stage 1, get another playoff point to carry through the rest of the playoffs, and 10 more stage points to pretty much put him in a pretty good spot to comfortably advance to the round of 12 as we wait for Mike Skinner and Kevin Harvick to cross the start-finish line up there. Matt Kenseth will win stage 1 here at Dover, followed by second place Dale Jarrett, and then it will be the 48 of Jimmy Johnson will come home in third. Then in fourth place is going to be Mark Martin. Then it will be Newman, Ricky Craven, Tony Stewart, Rusty Wallace, Johnny Benson, and Dave Blaney are top 10 in stage number 1 here at Dover. As Matt Kenseth, your stage 1 winner. We get back underway here in stage 2. Kenseth trying to lap the lap cars of Harvick and Mike Skinner, who have stayed out in front of him here at the back end of the lead lap, as he tries to chase them down. We have a lot of traffic here in the way of your race leader. This could cause some chaos behind us and all over throughout the field, with lap traffic and the race leaders trying to navigate their way through. All these playoff drivers, of course, looking to find a way to get to the next round of the playoffs. That round of 12 so important. Then you're one step closer to fighting for a championship in Homestead at the end of this season. But right now you see Jimmy Johnson racing Elliott Sadler, Mark Martin, 3-wide battle here coming out of turn 2. Johnson needs to make up some points after a rough race at New Hampshire, an early DNF. He needs to have a good run here to avoid an absolute disastrous start to the race. But Matt Kenseth continuing to lead, absolutely dominating this race early here in in Dover. Kenseth is absolutely dominating right now. He leads over the 28. Ricky Rudd, caution is out on the racetrack though, so we come back to see what happened, and there is some smoke. Looks like Ward Burton has collected some damage from a possible incident here, as indeed Ward Burton comes up the track, gets turned by Kurt Busch, who's a chase contender, right down to Tony Stewart. So damage to the 97 and the 20, and then he hits Steve Park, and Ward Burton crashes in the outside wall. Of course, Ward Burton missed the playoffs, hasn't done much of anything since. Now Johnny Benson takes the lead. There's a whole bunch of guys trying to get back on the lead lap right in front of them, so I'm gonna try to help it out, make it a better race overall by getting those guys back on the lead lap by tossing the yellow command once everyone crosses the line here. As Johnny Benson Jr. leading, he's came close to some of the short tracks this year, but still is winless. Of course, ended up missing the playoffs. Had a rough season overall as he tossed the yellow command, so now they can race back to the line. In front of us, so we got 3 wide. Mark Martin, Elliott Sadler, Robbie Gordon racing hard for position. Contact the 21 Sadler into the wall. Around he goes, and right in front of the field. More contact behind us. Dale Jarrett is wrecking. Ryan Newman, big damage. Bill Elliott involved. Multiple chase contenders involved in the big one here at Dover. that strikes right in the middle of the pack. All the leaders were at the back, and they're going to get taken out in a dramatic turn of events. Bill Elliott entered this race below the cut line. Dale Jarrett already locked in. He's fine. But Ryan Newman couldn't afford a big crash like this. He slammed Elliott's Sadler, sent him airborne and up and over. And somehow guys like Rusty Wallace and Jimmy Johnson narrowly avoid disaster in this. But oh my goodness, what a turn of events. See, Elliott Sadler gets spun in front of Mark Martin. The whole field's scattering here. Bill Elliott gets turned by Buckshot Jones down the racetrack, and then slides right back up the track into Elliott Sadler, avoids Elliott Sadler, but then into Kevin Harvick in the 29. Big damage to Bill Elliott, who's had a terrible start to the playoffs. Dale Jarrett has to be thanking God he won last episode in New Hampshire, or else it'd be over. As what happened here is a separate. Kyle Petty turns Ward Burton into Dale Jarrett, and then Jarrett goes crashing up the track hard into Kevin Harvick and back in the outside wall. Jarrett is destroyed. He will DNF from this race, and of course Ryan Newman came into the playoffs very high up. Of course, the winningest driver, 4 wins this season, and comes slamming to Elliott Sadler in 2 disastrous races in a row for the rookie of Ryan Newman. And he could be in jeopardy of elimination from the playoffs next episode at Kansas if he does not get his act together and get a good finish. You see, it all starts up here at the front of the field, and somehow the 48 got through that. Rusty Wallace collects some damage off of Mark Martin, but is okay to continue. But he does have that damage. But what a crazy start to this. Oh, and then of course to add insult to injury, Jeff Burton just hits Ryan Newman, sends him down pit road. But Johnny Benson ends up being the race leader after all of that. So after all that carnage, we get back underway here on lap 192 at Dover. Johnny Benson leads Jimmy Johnson and Casey Atwood the top 3. You find Sterling Marlin and Tony Stewart laps down here. Both a lap down in this race, struggling to gain their track position back. They need it badly. Get back into contention, but right now that does not look like it is the case. You see more 3-wide action back in there. Oh, Sterling Marlin, speaking of the 40, he has crashed into the outside wall. Smoke trailing out the back of that Dodge as he was battling race leader Johnny Benson trying to get back on the lead lap, and Jeremy Mayfield just turns right down to Sterling Marlin, hooks him head on into the outside wall, and Sterling Marlin is destroyed and his playoff hopes in jeopardy with just 1 race to go in the opening round of the playoffs. And oh man, everyone almost wrecked right there. Very, very lucky as Johnny Benson continues to impress leading this race. And now it's Jimmy Johnson leading on the last lap of stage 2 here at Dover, looking to get the stage win, another playoff point to his total, and to continue his path to getting back above the cut line to finish off these playoffs strong. Jimmy Johnson wins stage 2 at Dover, followed by Dale Jarrett in the 88, and then Matt Kenseth will be 3rd. Jeff Green will come home 4th. 5th will be Craven. Then you're going to have Casey Atwood in 6th. John Andretti in 7th. Then 8th place will be Mark Martin. 9th place will be Kurt Busch. And rounding out your top 10 is Rusty Wallace. As now you on to late in this race, lap 336, Jimmy Johnson's trying to get back up to the front to lead this race. He's battling with Bill Elliott and Casey Atwood here, who are both lap cars at this point. Jimmy is the leader. He's got Dale Jarrett right here. Kurt Busch, though, looking to take the lead on the inside. No, he's multiple laps down. But look at all your leaders all together here at the front of the field here at Dover. What a battle we're having. Johnson, Jarrett, Craven, Jeff Green, Kenseth. The entirety of the top 5 all battling. Johnson just lost 3 spots in that corner. Jeff Green going to the lead. Got around Dale Jarrett and Ricky Craven. Kenseth trying to work his way by the 45 machine of Kyle Petty as they work through 3 and 4 here. It's late in the race. All these guys are going for it. They know what's on the line. Playoffs here. Jarrett leads. Kyle Petty, though, pushing it a little bit on Matt Kenseth. There's going to be some contact, and he gets turned. There goes Dale Jarrett around Matt Kenseth. Kurt Busch into the wall. They go hard crashes. Jeff Gordon involved. Big damage to the 24. And a huge crash here at Dover involving many playoff contenders. Already can see 4 involved. Jarrett Gordon, Kurt Busch, and Matt Kenseth. Big damage sustained in a shocking turn of events. Your leaders just get taken out as Buckshot Jones hits Kenseth down to Kyle Petty, turns Dale Jarrett. Kenseth wipes out to Kurt Busch. Jimmy Johnson gets a piece of the damage, but these guys all go crashing hard. Jeff Gordon piles in. Big damage from him into Kurt Busch and Dale Jarrett. And just like that, the playoff picture has been shaken up once again. With another big crash here at Dover. Now we move on to the white flag. Final lap is going to be Kurt Levank at Dover for Johnny Benson. About to get his first win of the 2002 season. Last season he did incredible. ended up top 10 in the points, had 2 wins late in the season, and now looking for his 3rd career win and his first of 2002 here at Dover. After all that huge crash, of course, with 70 laps ago, is coming to take the checkered flag here through 3 and 4 for the final time. Johnny Benson with the upset here at Dover. He'll win it. Ricky Craven, your runner-up. 3rd place is going to be the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. A much-needed good run here today. Matt Kenseth will come home in 4th place. Jeff Green is your top 5. Then Steve Park will come home in 6th. And the rest of the top 10 is Mark Martin, Robbie Gordon, Rusty Wallace, and Casey Atwood. So how about that? A chaotic race for playoff drivers where Johnny Benson finds his way into victory lane and spoils the playoff party. And becomes the first non-playoff driver to win a race this season. You see the race results on the left side of your screen. And you'll see the updated playoff grid momentarily. And here's up the playoff grid. Matt Kenseth has officially clinched a playoff spot on points, joining Dale Jarrett. Jeff Green, Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart are still pretty comfortable at more than 25 points to the good. Rusty Wallace, Ricky Rudd, Michael Waltrip, Sterling Marlin are in that no mistakes area and hope no new winner happens. Then the fight at the bubbles between Bill Elliott, Ryan Newman, and Jeff Gordon for 2 spots. What a tight battle that is between heavy favorites coming into the playoffs. And the first drivers out besides Jeff Gordon, Terry Labonte, Ken Schrader, Jimmy Spencer pretty much must win. So until the next episode for the opening round finale at Kansas, I hope you all have a good one.